a problem and turning that problem into a solution. What business solutions can you fashion from recycling?
Due to the increase of single-use plastics, plastic pollution is today one of the largest environmental concerns. Every day, approximately 600 tons of plastic are discarded, with 90% of the plastic ending up in dangerous landfills or being burned.
What we are talking about is to look at solutions to solve environment degradation. Because when the environment is degraded, it no longer supports life. Human beings are part of life. We drink water. We depend on environment. We eat fish. We eat food. We all know the dangers of waste on environment.
The Plastic Recycling Hub will therefore be a chance to provide students with the real-world experience, create eco-friendly jobs in composting, and produce a variety of plastic-based products, all of which will ultimately play a significant role in narrowing the young unemployment gap.
If you open your mind to the possibilities, there are lots of things that can be done using recycled plastic. And don't limit yourself to say, I am a structural engineer, it doesn't apply to me. I am doing electrical engineering, it doesn't apply to me. You could use recycled plastic for the piping or plumbing.
It's easy to look at this as a problem, but it can as well be an opportunity. Okay? Now we have eco-bricks. I don't know how many people you're employing, but the employment is all around a problem that we are talking about. And I'm excited to see business and technology together, because we look at technology the other side and leave the business part of it. And that now brings in the aspect of circular economy. Yeah? That you get a challenge, innovate around it, come up with a solution. You are solving a problem, but as well creating an opportunity for others. And I think this is the way to go.
The National Environment Act, which aims to manage the environment sustainably, asks for zero tolerance for Kavera and encourages governments, private businesses, researchers, and academicians to collaborate on finding practical solutions and plastic substitutes.
I confess that one of the challenges we are having in this country is the disconnect between the policymakers and the researchers. We are busy making policies that are not informed by research, and you are innovating something that is not empowered by a policy. So, now that we are coming together, NEMA has come. Now that we are working together, I think we need to push this agenda forward, because we cannot work in isolation. The solution is with all of us.
The GIZ Country Coordinator for the Natural Resources Stewardship Project, Anna Pambag, has pushed students to utilize the Innovation Hub and their daily learning to address the pressing social issues.
100 tons that end up in landfills, that are clogging waterways, that are then causing urban flooding, but we don't do anything about it. So we need to start at various layers, and that's where Nature's and my team come in. We work with the ministry to work on policy solutions. We work with the private sector to find innovative ways of reducing plastic waste. And we also try and work around behavior change. And that also fits in with the Innovation Hub. The Innovation Hub is also here for you guys to be sensitive around plastic waste in the environment.
Come back to stories of the plastics. As earlier talked, everyone points to the other. You are the cause of the problem. You are the cause of the problem. I'm not the cause of the problem. They are the cause of the problem. The government points to the people point to the government points to the institutions are going back to the government. So no one takes the responsibility.
Hello? Just a little apologies regarding that particular technical issues, but that's something that the technical team has resolved. Okay, away from that, and now let's head into the nutrition, that situation in Uganda, and in particular, we are looking at the nutrition situation report that was released, of course, focusing on issues related to inadequate nutrition and its associated costs. Let's have the details of this particular report as Naomi Mutumba reports.
Refugees from Democratic Republic of Congo get settlements at Nyakabale in Kisoro district due to insecurity in his country. The government of Uganda has recommended that
despite Uganda's relatively lush soil and a high potential for food production, hunger and malnutrition are serious issues with terrible effects on health and economic development. However, agriculture extension specialists have placed little attention on nutrition and instead have prioritized reducing poverty and increasing food production. According to Uganda's Prime Minister, Right Honorable Robin Nabanja, 1 out of 10 children is said to be stunted in areas where the government plans to invest in the production of high-quality foods.
2 out of 10 children below the age of 5 are stunted. 1 is stunted. To me, that is disheartening because it gave us all. God gave us the best country in the world. I feel embarrassed by such findings. With all the fertile soils, the best weather in the world, and then we have people who are stunted. Country or as government, we are committed to ensuring that no child under the age of 5 is stunted. That's why the Prime Minister's office is organizing such dialogues so we can share information so that our children and the country have a bright future. We must invest in producing quality food and of course in the right quantities and qualities to ensure that our children, especially in those parts of Karamoja. By the way, let me inform you that we have, using the money that the government gave us, we have bought enough food to take to our people of Karamoja so that our people stop dying.
It is assumed that food security is attained as long as large quantities of food are produced. However, the security of food and animal feed determines the nation's nutrition. More people need to work in agriculture because, according to a report by the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, just 35% of arable land is being used for agriculture and 65% of it is being underutilized.
Security is one major dependent variable that influences nutrition. The other independent variable is animal feed security. What you feed the animals determines what kind of nutrition byproduct you get. A poorly fed cow may give you even much more milk, but water, the teachers may know. What you feed the pigs will determine what you get from them. So, if you have to draw a conceptual framework there, you will have food security, you will have animal feed security, you will have other factors in the middle that you may call confounding factors, environment, education that the commissioner from water talked about. You can even have many others. So when we are addressing nutrition, we must ask ourselves, how are we addressing food security?
Nutrition is a dependent variable. There must be other independent variables. There must be intervening variables. And those intervening variables are our interventions. They include seed for production. seed for crops, seed for animals, seed for fish.
Only 34.4% of arable land is under agricultural production. 34.4, roughly 35. It doesn't qualify because you cannot, but let's say 35. It means 65% is underutilized. We are fighting for land, we are titling land, we are buying land, but it's underutilized. So when we say give us more money to mechanize, I am contributing to nutrition. Because there is no nutrition without food production.
For more communities and the country as a whole to develop, better nutrition is crucial. The National Development Plan's policy for the development of human capital depends on critically nutrition. Naomi Mtumba, Smart 24.
Very wonderful insight right there from Naomi Mutumba. That's regarding the nutrition situation in Uganda. And according to research by the National Research Platforms for Nutrition, the costs associated with child manipulation cost Uganda 5.6%. That's of its GDP in the fiscal year 2019-2020. If the causes of the malnutrition are not addressed, definitely these losses will continue to obstruct the entire process. And in response to the nutrition situation, a report was released regarding that particular aspect. Okay, and away from that, let's cross over to skilling, that's of the refugees. And according to a report here, the Secretariat of the Comprehensive Refugee Framework, which is part of the Office of the Prime Minister, talked about possibilities of sustainable development in refugee settlement. The office has already pledged 1.83 that's billion US dollars, of course, in support for the refugees right there. According to Esther Ayakun, State Minister for Disaster and Relief Preparedness, the Nyakabare Refugee Settlement Center would be shut down with immediate effect. That's on October 31st, since there isn't enough money to feed the refugees and they are experiencing inflation shocks. Samuel Chirimunda has more of the details regarding this particular report.
Refugees from Democratic Republic of Congo get settlements at Nyakabale in Kisoro district due to insecurity in his country. The government of Uganda has recommended that the refugees should not be exempted in the parish development model so that they can practice crop cultivation to get food. Rusoke Victoria, State Minister for Local Government, views that there is need to integrate them to live in harmony.
How can we help? The Ministry of Local Government proposes skilling. Uganda is now focusing on skilling the youth because the white-collar jobs are no more, and skilling means production. Production means trading or selling, earning an income for survival. So, being a host country, we wish to integrate our people to live in harmony with the refugees.
In addition, the State Minister of Water and Environment, Beatrice Anywa, says that the refugees should cope up in restoration program to be part of the conservation and understand the core and sustainability and limited resources.
Restoration program, we want them to be part of the restoration, part of the conservation, so that they appreciate. They don't come and then misuse. They should understand to the core that their existence depends. The firewood they are using, the trees they are cutting down, were planted and protected by some people. Now, for continuity and sustainability, we want to engage them in the tree planting, in the conservation, and then in a better way of using the limited resources, because globally, the resources are not enough.
Esther Anyakun, the State Minister for Relief and Disaster Preparedness, says the Uganda has no money to feed them. However, the development partners have consented in the Memorandum of Understanding to evacuate Nyakabale due to lack of food.
they are spoiling the global compact refugee, where we say our refugees are based on settlement approach. When we leave them in the base camp, that means we are changing the approach. So let them live, and just in case, which I also believe and pray it shouldn't happen, when the fight starts, we should be able to accommodate more people.
That's a report from Samuel Chirimonda regarding skilling of the refugees right there. And now let's wind this up with the Elderly Persons Grant. And of course, according to the report, that's in the fiscal year 2021-2022. The government gave senior people 60 to 79 years of age shillings 5 billion with the goal of enhancing their quality of life through establishment of income generating enterprises. This occurs prior to Uganda's commemoration of the International Day for the Elderly on the 1st of October. That's 2022. That's in Nebi, which will be themed under the title Resilience of Older Persons to Cope Up with the Changing World. Desire Namubibru has more of the details regarding this particular report.
According to WOBO's figures from 2022, there are over 2 million elders among Uganda's 45 million inhabitants, demonstrating their increasing population and pressurizing the government to lower the age requirements for grant recipients. Gedudi Mafabi Dominic, the State Minister for Senior Affairs, made this announcement at the Media Center.
It was a grant that was directed by His Excellency the President as 10 billion. But this year we have managed to get 5 billion. This money will go to the older persons who are from 60 to 79 not benefiting from the SAGE. Our technical people have developed guidelines that will enable these old people to access this fund, and they will be in groups of 5 up to 10. And the amount they will be getting is 5 million per group to do their own simple enterprises, to enable them get some money to improve their livelihood. As you know, most of our older people have been in the informal sector, and we think this will help them. Of course, as you realize, there's also the Paris model, which is another fund where we have a 10%. It will also be available. So that is the fund for all these older persons who are 60 up to 79.
Speaking with this, Abire Charles, the chairman of National Council for Older Persons under the Ministry of Labour, Gender and Social Development, he examined as to why the government has undertaken this endeavour.
This money is going to cater for ages between 60 and 79 years. Exclusiveness of those who are benefiting from SAGE, like now in Karamoja. In Karamoja, when the project for SAGE started, for them it was reduced to 65 years. So it has been ongoing. When we came up with this 8 years and above, Karamoja was a special case. So those are still continuing to get that money, much as they are upgrading to almost 8 years now. However, this money now which you have received, the 5 billion, is Ministry of the Gender has come up with guidelines which were finalized, and these guidelines are going to be launched on the 1st October.
When the program started about 12 years ago, the potential beneficiaries were citizens aged between 60 to 65 years, particularly in Karamoja region. But however, there has been an evolution.
Government saw it fit, and depending on the capability and the availability of funds, they decided to raise the age to 80, and so that many older persons can be able to benefit from this grant. And so the program has been on for over 12 years, and beneficiaries receive 25,000 shillings per month.
Very interesting insight right there regarding the elderly persons grant. And that's it for the recap this morning. I will get into a short commercial break. We shall be returning with the international news, the press review definitely, and wind up the hour with the business tips and quotes. And Joram Paul Sonko is right here ready to drive you through those particular segments. Let's get into a short commercial break. I will be joining you again on SMB on ground, and this time around we are discussing the public opinion regarding purchasing of company stocks. Good morning. Stick around.